double-minded means you're not together. When your marriage is double-minded, that means it's not together. Uh-oh. Say amen, somebody. Amen. Somebody that need marriage counseling right now. When your marriage is double-minded, we can't stay together. That means both of us think we're the head. That means this is what happens. Let me dig in this little ditch real quick. This is what happens when my wife don't know all of my inner workings and my outer workings. Because when we pray together, we're not in agreement. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Because she praying for one thing, I'm praying for something else. We didn't commune together on nothing. That's why I'm trying to bless you here. This is where we're going to unleash the blessings back in your life, is realizing what type of agreement you signed up for when you became a Christian. Yeah. The reason why our blessings aren't flowing the way they should, because somewhere we reneged on the agreement. Somewhere our emotions and our feelings got in the way of what we promised. And we can have a season that's good. Understand, it's a season. But when we break covenant, when we break agreement, we suffer the consequences for being out of the will of God. God's will has nothing to do with our emotions. Uh-oh. Absolutely nothing to do with our emotions. I saw something today. And I put it on my page. And I'm hoping some of y'all saw it. But it's a young man, I forget what his name is, but he had a story. He said he was at work. And while he was at work, the alarm company called him. And when the alarm company called him, they told him that somebody had broken his house. And he said, so he tripping out over the fact that somebody had invaded his house while he wasn't at home. And they're asking him all the questions like, what kind of car you drive, or where are you, how can you get home? And he's like, what difference do it make what kind of car I drive? I mean, what do you need to know what time I'm coming home for? Y'all need to get whoever this is out of my house before I show up. He said, so when he finally gets to the house, he realized the police are coming out of his house and they're bringing the maintenance man out of his house. He said, so what happened was he forgot that he had scheduled the maintenance man to come in and fix what was in his house. He said, but what happened was when the maintenance man got there, he opened the door and the alarm went off. And when the alarm went off, the maintenance man called him on the phone. He failed to check his messages. The maintenance man called him on the phone and said, hey, your alarm is going off. He said, well, what happened after that? He said he walked out and he asked the maintenance man, well, why are you still here if this alarm and stuff is going off? He said, well, I called you. He said, but I knew once you got here that you would be able to vouch for why I was in the house in the first place. He said, but not only that, I wasn't just in the house. He said, I went ahead and I finished the job that you called me to do. You get that in a minute. He said, I finished, this is true story. I finished what you told, the reason why you called me, I finished it. Even though the alarm was going off, I finished the job. Even though police came and pulled me out of the house, I finished my job. And the question was, is will you finish the job regardless to what type of alarm is going on in your life? Will you finish the job that you were called to do? The job that you said, Lord, I promise I'm going to see it through. Lord, I give you my word, I'm going to see it through. Come hell or high water. When you stood at that altar, when you went down on your face crying to God, giving your life to Christ, when you went there in your marriage, you said, Lord, in sickness and in health, to death do us part, I promise you that I'm going to finish this. Oh, it get real quiet right there. That's what we say when we get in line with God. When we make an agreement with God, we're saying, God, that's why I don't play when it comes to people making emotional decisions. You had a high time in worship. Don't come up here promising nothing. You wait until that die down some and you get back in your regular habitat. Get back in your regular habitat and let's see how you feel. Oh, mercy, 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 mercy. Say agreement. Agreement. Mm-hmm. Now here's one that's dangerous. Acts chapter 5. Acts chapter 5. Verse 9.
Peter said to her, How could you agree to test the Spirit of the Lord? Look, the feet of the men who buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out also.
That story is about Ananias and Sapphira. They plotted and they planned. They were on one accord. We gonna go lie to the preacher. We gonna go. This is where the body of Christ get it mixed up. You think the preacher standing up there because he want to be up there? He's standing up there because he's a representative of God. And when you talk to him, you might as well say, well, this is God's representative. I can't lie to the Holy Spirit. That's why I tell y'all, don't call me lying about why you ain't coming. Just tell me the truth. Hello, somebody. Because I ain't the one you're lying to. So what do they do? You can't be in agreement with the wrong thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Now this husband done led his wife straight to hell. All for some money. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is what we gonna do. And here it is. God didn't ask them for none of it. This is what they chose. They saw how everybody else was giving. Ooh. And they gave based off of what they seen everybody else doing. Thinking that, oh, well, shoot, they ain't gonna know the difference. Oh my God. So we gonna go sell our land. And we gonna take all the money. We gonna hold this portion back. This ours right here. This is what we gonna give to the church. You know, there was our land in the front, but did nobody ask you to give it, bruh? So not only did you go and give something that you wasn't asked to give, you went and gave it and lied about it. When you stand up with your offering in your hand and you say it's your best gift, them shoes was your best gift. And who got them on? Well, it ain't about the amount. It's about what you were in agreement with when you presented it. Now you start to see how much God loves us. God, y'all ain't seen that? I told you I'm going to paint this picture. You finna see how much he loves us. We done reneged on this agreement a whole lot. Well, I have. I repent, Lord. I acknowledge mine. I'm working on them. They perfect. They got reasons. They got excuses. Well, if he had done this and if she had done that, I wouldn't have sent you to hell. You still got a portion of the agreement you got to uphold. He can't uphold your part and his. Woo! The opposite of agreement is a disconnected purpose, a disjointed and misplaced understanding. Watch this. The opposite of agreement is unsynchronized spirits. Our spirits ain't even in line with each other. So if our spirits ain't in line with each other, well, I hear so much going on in my spirit right now. I do. I'm hearing conversations. I'm seeing text messages going out right now. I am. I'm seeing it. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to stay here because he's too real. I'm just telling you what I see. And if you can't agree with the word of God, then whose side you on? Okay. I knew it was going to be hard because I want us blessed. I'm telling you, it ain't the fact that God ain't doing his part. That ain't what it is. You mean to tell me all I have to do is honor my agreement with you and all of these doors are open? Yeah, they already open. But you somewhere on the wrong page. You on the wrong page. The agreement calls for this. You ever see that fine? Ain't it amazing how the Bible is all written in fine language? Most of the time when you get a contract, you got to look at the very bottom to see all the fine print. That's the stuff you better watch out for, because they go your cancellation fees. We can drop your service, because they go all of the stuff you really, really need to know. In the next 90 days, your rate gonna go up by 45%. You didn't see that part. All you saw was, oh, that's gonna be my ride. That's gonna be my car. And then all of a sudden you call, man, what's up with my payment? Well, if you look at the fine print, it says in section C of V1, that means 6, C6, or whatever, you'll see right here it says that, and because you done already signed off on it, you're still obligated to it. Then you get mad and say, I want to break my contract. Well, guess what? That's going to cost you too. That's going to cost you some money. And guess what? It's going to hit your credit. Your credit is your word. In other words, I can't even trust to give you nothing no more, because you might break it again. Oh my God. Maybe that's why we don't have what we want. That's why we don't have what we need, because we've broken too many contracts where God said, I can't even trust you with that. Don't you realize, oh God, here's breakthrough for somebody. Don't you realize that when you got that big tax refund, that was God saying, I'm giving you the lump sum to see how you're going to handle it. So if you went and blew it on a bunch of clothes and a bunch of shoes, well, my babies need this and we want to go do this, you proved to him right then the very prayers you've been praying for financial increase, you can't handle it. How much of it do you got left now?